Hey guys, I guess this is a video that everybody's been waiting for. This is the off-road lawnmower I've been working on for about the past 5 years. And if you follow me on Facebook, then you've seen some updates on it, and you might have seen my post on Maine Mud Mowers, the off-road lawnmower page. I'm going to go step by step of what I've done to it and some of the modifications, some of the things that are still stock on it, and I'll give you an overview of the entire tractor. I just have the hood sitting on it right now just so you guys can kind of get a representation of what it looks like. It's kind of a pain in the ass to take off because it's not a flip forward hood anymore. So it has pins that mount in the front, and it has two rubber straps that hold the back down in the rear of the hood. So I will get the camera off the tripod, and then I will show you step by step. Okay, now this is it without the hood on it, just so you guys can see the motor and electronics and whatnot. Camera angles might be a little bit shaky, but I'll just do a walk around and then we'll get started on what's aftermarket, what's not, modifications that I've done to it. Alright, it started its life as a 1987 wheel horse 211-4. It is now same chassis, same bodywork, and same transmission and rear wheels. That's all it's stock on it. The console, the steering wheel, and the shifter is also stock, and the steering box and one of the tie rods, the connecting tie rod, that's stock too. But everything else on it's basically aftermarket. The engine was an 11 horse flathead Briggs. This is a 12.5 flathead Briggs that I ported and polished the head and cylinder, or the block I should say, not the cylinder. It is a stock bore. It has chromoly rings, a overhead valve connecting rod, and stiffer valve springs, a performance cam, and that's basically it on the inside of the motor. The intake has been ported and polished. It's got a coupler that I made to accept a 28mm Mikuni carb. It has a snorkel. I can submerge it completely up to about 3 foot of water. The gas tank is still stock. As you can see, there's a return line. I needed extra push for the carburetor because the gravity feed was not high enough. So there is a Mikuni 212 carburetor, or Jesus, I can't speak today. It is a fuel pump. It is off a 212 John Deere. It's got a high torque starter. The flywheel has been rebalanced. It was off a little bit. Shroud's clear coated. It's got a Vance & Hines exhaust that I cut shorter and hollowed out. You can see there's no baffling in it at all. It's got a push button ignition system, so you just flip it on, flip it off to kill it, and there's your start. It's got a 1995 Harley-Davidson Fat Boy passenger seat. This flips up. I have a little toolbox back here. It's got some stuff in it. There's rag, just to keep everything from rattling. And this does detach with Velcro. It actually stays pretty sturdy mounted. Doesn't go anywhere. I put a little bit of accent pieces on the rear. I took some reflectors and I JB welded or epoxied some little like blue marbles to kind of replicate a Harley-Davidson blue dot. It's an old-fashioned thing. I built this custom rack out of some old gym equipment, and I just keep a spare gas can on there, so if I'm on the trail or whatever, I can always have extra fuel. There's a little tongue back there for a bull ring. These 2 bolts are for a controller that I use for a pull behind mower. I'll have another video on that soon. Has the original clutch pedal. I kind of replicated Fearless Front's throttle, but I added a piece of aluminum on there so you can actually hit it a little bit better with your foot, and I didn't want to mount it so far in that I would have to tuck my foot under everything. So I made a little bracket piece that actually sticks off the side. Here's all the fuel lines in return. There's a vacuum line. PCV's behind there, if you can see that. It is a Peerless 920 series transmission. It's a 4-speed on the tree. I'll go underneath it so you can see the whole belt system. And the clutch, that is all aftermarket. Everything I custom made. It's a double pulley clutch. There's an adjustable tensioner pulley. And that is just an idler pulley. I'm soon going to be putting a cross member to tie that into the frame so there's no slap. There's a shifter linkage. It has been pulley swapped. It is a 4-inch rear pulley, and the front pulley is still factory. There's a belt guide there that I made out of aluminum. That's the stock tie rod that drops down to the front. And that tie rod I actually built, tapped the ends of it, and put adjustable joints on the ends of it. Still has the stock front end that kind of teeters, so that way I can still have some flex without actually flexing the frame. Front tires and wheels are off of a rototiller that I cut the original hubs out and welded the original hubs to the tractor in, so that way I didn't have to do any bolt-up system. I like the way these hubs fit in. Stock rear stock rear wheels. It's got tires on the rear. They're 20 10/8, and the fronts are, where are they? I can't even read it on here. 4/88, so they're 8-inch wheel, 4 1/8 wide, I think is what it's considered. But original spindles, front bumper. I don't know, the saw blade was just added to be cool. These are the pins that the hood sits onto. And yeah, it tops out at about 14 or 15 mile an hour, something like that. But yeah, it's nothing special, but it took a long time for me to build because I didn't really have much knowledge of lawnmowers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I shortened the shifter because before the shift knob got really close to the steering wheel, it used to sit like here, so your hand would hit it all the time. I actually bent it down, cut it shorter. It makes it a little harder to shift, but you get used to it. It's really weird to drive because it's a left-hand throttle and a right-hand clutch, so it's not like a car. But I will try and start her up for you guys and let you hear it. Still has a little bit of a jetting issue. I think it's running a bit lean. It smokes a little, so it kind of indicates that it's running rich, but it'll idle under its own power. It just has to warm up a bit. I just think that the carburetor's not used to the kind of flow that it takes from the snorkel. And I mean, I don't know if you could hear it in the video, but that thing fucking sucks. So I've got one shout out today. Justin Gill on Facebook and Maine Mud Mowers. He has been asking questions about this specific mower and some of the things that I've done to it, so hopefully this answers some of your questions, Justin. And good luck on your build. He, I believe, is a new mudder, so he goes by Mud Mower on YouTube, Mud with 2 Ds. So if you guys want to check out any of his videos, definitely go and do that. He's in the midst of building a Craftsman, I believe, and I think he is doing a MST 206 transmission swap, and it had a Spicer 5-speed. So, or I don't know if it had a Spicer or not. Maybe that was somebody else, but definitely give him a look and see what he's up to. Thanks, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. There will be more videos on this mower in the future, and a pull-behind mower that I made for it. Thanks. Have a good one.